Hi, this is Carlos Cousins, and the following literary narrative passage question here is asking for what the passage establishes. So they want direct evidence here for all of the following except. This is one of the worst hide-and-seek examples in that you need to find evidence for all of them and then pick the one that you had no evidence for. But try to remember from the passage. This should be fairly straightforward. Do Gordon and Dean have the same financial situation? Well, probably not. Remember, Gordon here goes to Dean's place to ask Dean for money. So it doesn't seem that they have the same financial situation. Gordon lost his job and is asking Dean um, to lend him some money. So maybe even not lend, maybe he's just asking for the money. So it looks like Dean has more money to give Gordon. So that doesn't really make any sense here. They wouldn't have that in common. So you shouldn't, for that reason, pick answer choice A. But let's go ahead and find evidence for the others. So they both went to Yale. Well, we do see that here, right after line 20, in line 22. They were both about 24, Yale graduates of the year before the war. But there, the resemblance stopped abruptly. So, okay, they both went to Yale, and they were both 24. What about their hatred for each other though? Where do we see evidence for that? Well, later in the passage, around line 100 or so, it says, "For in that instant, they quite suddenly and definitely hated each other." So there it is. Direct evidence here for them hating each other. If you couldn't find this one, if you happen to forget this, do keep in mind the whole feeling for the whole passage. So yes, it's really hard to find evidence for everything, but definitely here, if Gordon is asking Dean for money right after he loses his job, they're not going to have the same financial situation. So even though you're not necessarily going to find evidence for one of these, you should know that A has to be the right answer here. But that's why answer choice D then is also incorrect. I hope that helped with this problem, and happy prepping.